state governor, who nets 49% against the vice president, 48% against the secretary of state. Former transportation secretary Pete Buttigieg and John Ossoff are currently the strongest performing Democrats when put up against the two Trump administration officials. Here's how it breaks down. You said we're back live on YouTube. Welcome in, YouTube. We appreciate you guys joining us. Welcome in, Rumble. We're back live on YouTube and Rumble. So, Buttigieg versus Vance. It's Emerson College, so you do have to take some of this with a grain of salt. Buttigieg, there's no way he beats Vance or Rubio in a presidential election. What on earth has he done that's noteworthy outside of gay adoption and complaining about racist bridges? Honestly. So you have to take this polling with a grain of salt. But it says Buttigieg versus Vance. Buttigieg wins 49-44. Buttigieg versus Rubio, 49-44. Ossoff versus Vance. John Ossoff, he's the guy that's been pushing Natalie Harp, the Natalie Harp affair angle, low key insinuating that there's something going on there, which is just okay. Ossoff versus Vance. Ossoff comes out on top, 49-44. Ossoff versus Rubio. Ossoff comes out on top, 47-44. Newsom versus Vance, 49-44. Newsom. Newsom versus Rubio, 48-46. Newsom. Harris v. Vance, 49-45. Harris. Harris v. Rubio, 48-43. Rubio. AOC versus Vance, 46-44 AOC. AOC versus Rubio, 48-43 Rubio. So the polling is crap at the end of the day, but it does create an interesting conversation and one to pay attention to. So we're looking at it. Who do you like? Who do you like in 2028? Is it too soon? Maybe it's too soon. I don't know. It might be too soon for the national conversation, but make no mistake about it. It's not too soon for these guys. They're laying the groundwork behind the scenes and gearing up for these races now. And if they aren't, they're going to be at a severe disadvantage come 2027 when the primaries kick off. That's just the reality of it. You're running out of time if you're going to make a serious run for president in 2028. So I'd imagine that everybody's gearing up. J.D. Vance was on Newsmax yesterday. He talked about the national debt. He talked about the Save America Act. He called out Senate Republicans, and he gave his thoughts on the current state of the Iran conflict. I'll bring you some of that audio on the way. Don't forget, Monica Page, our White House reporter, she's back from maternity leave. She's been back for a couple weeks. We don't want to rush her. But she's going to join us from the White House lawn at 10 a.m. You can watch that on Super Talk TV. You can listen on your radio as well. A lot to get to, a little bit of time. It's 9:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at United Structural Systems, USS, and let's be honest, foundation issues are something that none of us want to deal with. We'll see the cracks. Maybe a door doesn't shut right. The driveway starts thinking, and we'll think, we'll get to it later. But you know what later actually means? Let me translate it for you. Later means more expensive. This is why you need to call USS today, and I'll tell you exactly why you can trust United Structural Systems. They've been doing this work since 1994 in Tennessee, and what you can appreciate, what I think everybody can appreciate, is their approach. No scare tactics, no overselling. They'll take the time, real time, to inspect your home. Then they'll explain what's going on, and it's a novel approach. They'll tell you the truth. If you don't need repairs, that's what they tell you. If you do, you'll know exactly why and what's going to happen before anything gets started, and they handle everything. From foundation repair to crawl space work to concrete leveling to waterproofing. And they do it with systems designed to last. Now, You may need to finance this, and USS has tons of financing options available. Like I said, if you wait, it gets more expensive. But how about you fix it today and pay for it later? Talk to my friends at USS today. Don't let the problems get worse while you wait. Visit USSTN.com or call 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. They're committed to their customers, and they're invested in what matters most. United Structural Systems, USSTN.com.
Why am I so happy and so excited that Jimmy Kimmel lied to his audience?
He had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from.
I'm excited because the liberal and the legacy media have been lying about Republicans for years, and people like this are finally taking notice.
I didn't think much of the death because from what I had heard, Charlie Kirk had been a neo-Nazi who wanted me to be dead. He didn't support my existence and whatnot. And now I'm kind of sitting here thinking, and I'm like, I feel like I had been lied to. I really took some time after the, thing happened to kind of look into his videos, look into his beliefs, look into his thoughts and who he was as a person. And to me, he seemed like a well-mannered family man. He believed in the country. He believed in the greater good of the country. He had his own political beliefs and opinions. And sure, there's a lot of things that I don't agree with him on, but I never would stand for him dying or being murdered because of his beliefs. And I think I may be starting to lean a lot farther right in response to everything that's taken place.
A North Carolina man has bonded out while 2 men are dead and others are seriously injured, and a multi-day manhunt is underway in Massachusetts. Those stories and more coming up at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's a person hunt in Massachusetts, you bigot.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
How dare you assume the genders?
How dare I?
You need more inclusive language. This never would have happened if Joan was back there. Ever.
I don't know.
Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water. Better Water. Got a text here.
Sorry, I kept waiting for the
LLC.
We don't say that
unallowed
anymore.
letters.
We're not allowed to. We don't. It's just Better Water now.
Are
Limited
those 3 letters
liability.
added to the LGBT?
Limited Liability Corporation. Right? Is that what that's what that means?
I
Pretty
think so.
sure.
Yep.
Pretty sure. I got a text here. 2738. Stop trashing Republican presidential possibilities. You sound like a Democrat. What do you want? What do you mean?
Chris, stop sharing your opinion on an opinion-driven station.
Yeah, it's not like it's the Chris Hand show or something.
I'm just saying, like, you can make conservative arguments against all these guys.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I don't.
Chris just wants the most conservative.
Also, like, R.I.P. Uncle Phil, Van Gogh listening much? I was like, there's a lot to like about both of these guys, was actually one of my statements in that whole thing. And then you can make conservative arguments against both of these guys. So that's kind of where I stand.
I think you put Rubio and DeSantis on the same ticket.
It would be Vance Rubio. There's no way that it would be Rubio Vance. I'd bet $1,000 if they end up on the same ticket, it's Vance Rubio.
No, I meant DeSantis and Rubio.
DeSantis and Rubio.
It'd be Rubio, DeSantis in that order.
No, I don't think so. I don't. I think DeSantis would be like, no, I'm going for it. That's me. Do you think he would take vice president? I feel like that if he was going to be willing to take vice president, DeSantis wouldn't have run against Trump, because if he hadn't run against Trump, it almost like 100% would have been Trump DeSantis. Don't you think? No? Really?
I mean, are you going to run with a guy that called you DeSanctimonious?
I'm saying before that. He didn't call him DeSanctimonious until after he ran against him. I think if DeSantis hadn't run, then I feel like it definitely would have been Trump DeSantis. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll bring you those comments from Vance. He was on Newsmax yesterday talking about a gang of things. We got all of it for you lined up. Plus, Monica Page joins us from the White House North Lawn at 10 a.m. It's 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 9:30 on Super Talk, and I'm Sam Rutherford with your top stories. New court documents are shedding light on the crash that killed 2 Milligan University cyclists and injured 9 others in Carter County, the Tennessee Star's Tom Pappert reports. According to a Tennessee Highway Patrol affidavit, investigators found no physical evidence that the driver applied his brakes or even took evasive action before striking a group of university cyclists on Highway 19 East. Authorities say 69-year-old John Alexander Benfield of North Carolina told investigators he did not see the cyclists until the vehicle in front of him changed lanes. Benfield is charged with 2 counts of reckless vehicular homicide and 5 counts of reckless aggravated assault. The crash unfortunately claimed the lives of Milligan University sophomores Halen Engdahl and Braden Rogers, while several other cyclists suffered serious injuries, with 4 still in the surgical ICU. Investigators say the case remains under review and additional charges could be filed as the investigation continues. Benfield has been released on only a $300,000 bond. A Middle Tennessee teenager is facing criminal charges after running onto a middle school football field and tackling a player during a game, Channel 5 reports. 16-year-old Addison Honeycutt has been charged with assault and disorderly conduct following Tuesday night's game between South Middle School and Cornersville Middle School. Honeycutt says she took action because she believed her younger brother was being mistreated on the field and felt no one else was going to step in to stop it. She also claims 4 players had been knocked out of the game at that point. Her mother says she understood her daughter's concerns, but acknowledged that running onto the field was inappropriate. Honeycutt's attorney argues the incident should be viewed in the broader context of what occurred during the game and says the family plans to fight the charges. Officials previously said the teen was released to her parents after the incident and no injuries were reported. And in Massachusetts, the 4th day of an urgent manhunt gets underway. ABC's Aaron Katersky has the details.
An urgent search outside Boston for Karen Solomon, a therapist who advocated for police officers, now a suspect in the death of her police officer husband. Kurt Solomon was a patrolman with the Worcester Police Department for 31 years before his fellow officers found him dead Tuesday morning after responding to a 911 call from the couple's home. Now investigators are racing to determine what happened inside that house, and sources say whether there had been prior instances of domestic violence.
I guess that technically would be a woman hunt. That's the latest news. We've got a traffic report coming for you, or weather coming up next. I'm Sam Rutherford, WTN News.
38 minutes past the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Did I say Better Water LLC? I'm not supposed to say the LLC anymore. They said it's just Better Water. It's like Share. They don't have a last name. There's no
it's
LLC.
a mononym.
You know? It's going to take a while for me to get used to that, I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to take a while. But they're great sponsors of the show. This is the burdens I have to carry, you know what I mean? We got Monica Page joining us live from the White House North Lawn at 10 a.m. Really excited to have Monica back on the program. She took a little while off for maternity leave, but she's going to join us. A lot has changed at the White House since she was there last, construction projects and the such. So we'll see if she even recognizes it. Does it even look the same, Monica? Plus, we'll ask her about riding on Air Force One. I've actually been really excited to talk to her about this. Monica is one of the only people I know that has taken multiple trips on Air Force One. And there was a big news story a couple weeks, was it last week or a couple weeks ago? Whatever. I mean, the news cycle moves so fast, but when Trump had to sneak out of the plane and the press was really, really upset because they weren't told that there was a threat on Air Force One. And I was like, you kind of sign up for that if you're going to be riding on Air Force One. At least that's what I would assume. Maybe Monica has a different take. You'll have to listen at 10 o'clock to find out. Really excited with the fact that we got Monica back on the show. It's going to be fun. In the meantime, J.D. Vance, he's going to be one of the favorites for 2028. Now, like I made the statement earlier, all of these guys are lining up. If you don't think that anyone who is thinking about lining up their run for president in 2028 on both sides of the aisle aren't already working behind the scenes to get their ducks in a row, then you're not paying enough attention. This is the time when they're doing it. And I think you can make the argument that it's too late if you're just starting right now. Whether you're AOC or Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris or Rubio or Vance or DeSantis, I think that a lot of these guys know that, right? You would imagine they've already made their decision if they're running or not.
Oh, probably.
I would think so. They're not going to say it publicly, but they're going to say it out loud. I think that if you are tied to the current Trump administration from a conservative's perspective, and this is where I get stop trashing Republican presidential candidates. I think if you're tied to the Trump administration, there's going to be some stuff that you're going to have to deal with. I mean, the national debt just crossed $40 trillion. It's a lot of money. The war in Iran, that's a big issue. What's gas prices today? I think the national average is above $4, and I think Brent crude is at like $93 a barrel right now. I mean, it's steadily climbing. Yeah, and listen, they're doing work behind the scenes. We talked about it yesterday. They have that southern lane open. They're sneaking about 10 million barrels in and out a day. But it's like, how sustainable is that? How long will that go on? There's questions, right? There's questions circulating this whole thing. Will economic D-Day pan out the way they think it will? But whether you want to have that honest conversation with yourself or not, anyone tied to the current Trump administration is going to come with baggage. There's going to be attack points. This is the same thing that we said about Kamala Harris with Joe Biden. You're going to have to answer for certain things. And there are certain things that the Trump administration has done that has pissed off a lot of people. So I wonder if the safest Republican bet would be a DeSantis, where you are conservative, you have a track record of success, but you're administration adjacent. You weren't there in the back room making those decisions. That's where my head goes. Vance was on Newsmax yesterday, and he does sound like he's laying the groundwork to run for president. He is going at some of these issues that will be on the campaign trail, one of them being the national debt. J.D. Vance says there is a plan to outgrow the national debt.
Even though the debt is too high, even though we inherited this debt bomb from the Biden administration, we actually do have a plan to get the economy growing faster than the debt, and that's the most important thing. the issue that we've had under the Biden administration and what we're still kind of dealing with is that the debt was growing faster than American GDP. That's the problem. That's something that we're certainly fixing every single day in the Trump administration. But you know, even though the media doesn't cover this, I'm glad you're asking this question, because Scott Bessent is very much on top of it. He knows it's a problem, and he's got the president's empowerment to do something about it.
Joining us now for more on this, the man himself.
So that was J.D. Vance yesterday. He was talking with Carl Higbee. He said, listen, we're going to outgrow the debt. That's the plan. You're not going to shrink the debt. You're not going to pay off the debt. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to outgrow it. It's probably the only realistic way to tackle this thing. Will they get there? They got a couple more years. You can make the argument that this will be a non-issue to a certain extent come 2028. If the GDP is outgrowing the national debt, they'll at least have that argument in their back pocket, whoever's running, if they are affiliated with the Trump administration, if it is Vance, if it is Rubio. But it's a lot of debt. Yeah, I mean, and as conservatives, we can make the argument that that really exploded under Joe Biden. We all can. That's just the reality of it. Some of the biggest issues with the Trump administration really have nothing to do with the Trump administration, though. It has to do with the ineffectiveness of Senate Republicans. So far, outside of the one big beautiful bill, what's the biggest piece of legislation that has been passed under the Trump administration? Exactly. And the blame of that falls at the feet of Senate Republicans. The Save America Act is one of those standout pieces of legislation that would secure our elections moving forward. Proof of citizenship to register to vote, ID to vote, clearing illegal aliens off the voter rolls. We talked about it yesterday. There's another whistleblower coming out in Michigan who says that anytime somebody changes an address in Michigan, even if it's a non-citizen, they're automatically registered to vote. Harmeet Dillon has been made aware. The Assistant Attorney General, Harmeet, said that there's investigations ongoing. We saw what happened in New Jersey. How on earth there are Senate Republican holdouts is befuddling, to say the least. Vance called them out while he was on Newsmax.
You're president of the Senate. You obviously, there is some procedural things under Article 1, but you know, overruling the parliamentarian, pushing this vote forward, is there anything you can do to get this done before the midterms?
Yeah, so we've actually looked into this, and you're right. As the president of the Senate under the U.S. Constitution, there are things that we can do. We can take over the Senate chair. I can occupy the chair. We can overrule the parliamentarian. Those things are very possible. But the fundamental issue with that is not the 60-vote threshold, it's the 50-vote threshold. So if, for example, I took over the Senate chair and I overruled the parliamentarian, we would need to sustain 50 senators plus me. Obviously, I would vote the right way. Mm-hmm. We need to sustain 50 senators to support that decision. Now, obviously, most Republicans would support it, but could we get 50? That's the big question. That's something that obviously the president and I and others in the White House have been working on, trying to have this conversation. You know, the fundamental problem, there's a good news, bad news situation here, mm-hmm. which is we have a way better United States Senate today, a way better Senate GOP today than we had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. But you still have some senators who are so committed to these ridiculous parliamentary rules, even though they know the Democrats aren't. And this is what I find so preposterous about this, is it's basically you have a few GOP senators who are unilaterally disarming, even though they know that Senate Democrats, whenever the Senate Democrats next take the majority, hopefully 30, 40, 50 years from now, hopefully never, but if they do it 2 years from now or 4 years from now, the Senate Democrats are going to blow up the filibuster. Yep, and this is why the president says we have got to just get rid of the filibuster. Then you don't have to worry about the parliamentarian. The problem is not the majority of GOP senators. It's that you've got a few holdouts who just don't want to do that because they're so committed to these archaic rules.
And I think you can make the argument that it's not just that they're committed to the archaic rules, that they also hate President Trump. I mean, I think that you can make a strong argument that a few of these senators just can't stand the orange man. They can't stand that he upset the apple cart back in 2016, and they've been just as bad as the Democrats every step of the way, whether it's Thune, whether it's Cornyn, whether we're talking Tom Tillis or Lisa Murkowski or Susan Collins or Mitch McConnell, if he's even alive. These people don't like Trump, so they don't want to give him any wins. They don't want to give him any victories, and they'll cut their nose off to spite their face. And Vance is absolutely right. These Democrats absolutely will nuke the filibuster. That's not rhetoric coming from Republicans. That is rhetoric coming from Democrats. They've all said it on the biggest stages, whether it's Pelosi or Kamala Harris or AOC, they're all in on it. And when they nuke the filibuster, good luck. Good luck winning another election. Good luck gaining another majority, because D.C. and Puerto Rico are states. There's going to be a pathway to amnesty for, 18 to 25 million illegal aliens in this country. They're going to abolish the Electoral College. They're going to pack the Supreme Court. It is going to be, to say it would be an uphill battle would be an understatement. It just would. But Vance said, I think these Republicans genuinely believe that if they protect the filibuster, the Democrats are going to return the favor and protect the filibuster. And it's like, Joe Manchin and Sinema, they're not walking through that door. They're just not. Those days are gone. I got a clip that I'm going to play later in the show from the Massachusetts Senate debate, it's for the Democrat primary. It's Seth Moulton versus Ed Markey. And it might be like they're just trying to out-woke each other. That's really what the debate is. But Ed Markey goes, they're like, well, what would you do with the Democrat Party? He goes, I don't think we're progressive enough. Oh, jeez. Oh, yuck. So Vance makes the point here, and he says, if they think, if these Republicans, the Mitch McConnells and Lisa Murkowskis, if they think that the Democrats are going to return the favor and not blow up the filibuster, you're living in a fantasy world.
To try to understand their position as well as I can. What they say, and I think they genuinely believe this, I don't know how, but I think they genuinely believe that if they protect the filibuster for the next couple of years, then let's say the Democrats take over in 4 years, the Democrats are going to return the favor and protect the filibuster when they're in power. I don't know how anybody believes that. We have to remember that if you go back to Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, by the way, two very good public servants, moderate Democrats, I disagreed with them on a lot of issues, but they did protect the filibuster. And what happened to them? Were they promoted by the Democratic Party? No, they were destroyed by Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats. They sent a message that if you ever dare to stand against the national Senate Democrat leadership, we are going to destroy your career. And that means the filibuster has to go away. I guarantee you, even if there are some good Democrats in the Senate who would preserve the filibuster, to sort of show good faith to their Republican colleagues, they're never going to be allowed to do it by the Senate leadership. The politics of it are obvious. Senate Democrats are going to destroy the filibuster.
He said good Democrats, if there are some good Democrats. That to me feels like an oxymoron, my friends. It's like jumbo shrimp. It can't be both. It can't be both.
And by the way, they're not going to do it to protect American election integrity. They're going to do it to add Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. as states. They're going to do it to further weaken election integrity. And this is what I think that, again, it's not the majority of the Senate GOP, but a few senators have got to wake up to the reality that the Democrats are going to blow up the filibuster and try to destroy the country, pack the Supreme Court. We need to end the filibuster to save American elections. It's the smart and also the patriotic thing to do.
They want to blow up the filibuster to ruin the country. We should be willing to blow up the filibuster to save the country. It's an argument that makes sense to me. I feel like it's an argument that makes sense to you. Tom Tillis, Lisa Murkowski, Mitch McConnell, if he can even understand arguments at this point. Different story. It's 9:52. Monica Page joins us at 10:05. A lot to get to. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here from my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Kids are back in school. You got some more time on your hands. Time to get the house ready. Time to get the house back in order. And right now, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling is going to help you save some big money with their biggest back-to-school offers of the season. If you schedule an HVAC maintenance or complete any HVAC repair, you're going to get a free dryer vent cleaning. That's an added safety and one less thing on your to-do list. If you're thinking about a new system, purchase a high-efficiency HVAC unit, and you'll be entered to win at Busy Bee's Healthy Hive giveaway, which is a $1,500 sponsorship to the school of your choice. Plus, teachers, faculty members, staff members at the school can receive a free Beehive membership when you purchase a Beehive Club membership or renew one and gift it to them. If you need major plumbing work, get a $500 gift card with qualifying whole home repipes and mainline replacements. And with approved credit, enjoy 0% financing for 18 months. Get it done now, pay for it later. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 615-775-7833, 615-775-7833, busybeehvac.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you've got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
Well, I'll be telling you why I don't ride the rides at the fair, and you might be forced to make a choice on Tennessee highways. Those stories and more coming up at 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Did you see the video of that at the fair, though?
I did.
What were the extent of the injuries? Do you know?
I don't know the extent. I know that they were all non-life-threatening, and the 4 people that were hospitalized have been released. So probably some bumps, some bruises, and some scrapes.
Here's my thing. I've seen some carnival accidents on the internet before.
Yeah, that was mild.
It was mild. It was mild.
You think they made a pretty penny?
Oh, they're definitely going to make some bank.
Yeah.
See, I was talking with my friend about it, though. Do you think there's something in the when you buy your tickets that says if anything happens, you can't sue us?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know how in depth they go.
I feel like you could still probably figure out a way to sue them.
Probably.
It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN, by the way. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water. If you want to go down a rabbit hole, there's some fairs that make that accident look mild.
Child's play.
Yeah, like I've seen some in the Middle East. Like when a tilt-a-whirl went long gone, it turned into a launch-a-whirl.
Ooh.
I've seen some in China. Maybe you're familiar.
China?
No, my bad. That was just an escalator.
Oh.
But I've seen some things. I've seen some things. Monica Page is going to join the show live from the White House North Lawn. Is she on yet? Is she in the same spot that she's usually in?
Not yet. She's not on yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
Because I'm curious if they've had to move her around given all the construction going on at the White House. We got a lot to catch up with Monica on. She had a new baby. She's back at work. This woman's a beast. She can do both. We'll join Monica next. It's 10 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is 10 a.m., and I'm Sam Rutherford with your top stories. As you heard Chris Hand and I talking about, a ride at the Tennessee State Fair has been shut down after a malfunction injured 9 people Wednesday night, according to WSMV. According to emergency officials, 4 people were taken to local hospitals for evaluation after the incident involving the Wave Swinger ride. That's the one with the chains on the chairs that spins like a merry-go-round. Authorities say all reported injuries were non-life-threatening, and those hospitalized have since been released. The Tennessee Department of Labor and Workforce Development has issued a cease-and-desist order preventing the ride from operating until a required inspection is completed and state officials determine it is safe to reopen. Investigators are now working to determine what caused that malfunction. The ride had passed a third-party inspection before the fair opened earlier this month. And a major transportation project aimed at easing congestion between Nashville and Murfreesboro is moving forward after state officials approved a private sector partnership for the I-24 Southeast Choice Lanes project. The Tennessee Star reports the Transportation Modernization Board unanimously selected the Drive TN Consortium to finance, design, build, operate, and maintain the project, which carries an estimated cost of $9.2 billion. That's with a B, people. State officials are calling it the largest interstate choice lanes public-private partnership project in the country. Try saying that 5 times fast. The plan calls for adding 2 optional express lanes in each direction along a 26-mile stretch of I-24. Drivers who choose to use those lanes would pay a toll, while existing general-purpose lanes would remain free. State leaders say the project is designed to reduce traffic congestion and improve travel reliability. Officials say the partnership is projected to generate nearly $24.8 billion in concession value for Tennessee over time, potentially helping fund future transportation projects across the state. And the TBI is now examining a medication mix-up at St. Thomas Ascension Hospital that left multiple patients with severe complications following routine surgeries. According to News Channel 5 Investigates, the incident occurred at Ascension St. Thomas Midtown, where at least 4 patients undergoing joint replacement procedures were reportedly given the wrong medication. Families say patients received potassium through an epidural instead of a standard pain medication. The TBI confirms its investigation is active and ongoing. News Channel 5 reports that at least 2 patients were left paralyzed, while another remains in intensive care. The hospital has acknowledged that 4 patients were harmed and says it has identified the cause of error and implemented corrective safety measures. though it has not publicly detailed exactly what happened. Hospital officials say they have met with the affected families while state health regulators and law enforcement continue to separate investigations into the incident. That is the latest news. We'll have your weather coming up next. I'm Sam Rutherford, WTN News.
It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water. You can listen to the show at iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch the show on YouTube and Rumble, and I suggest that you do watch the show because I'm very, very excited. We have the return of one of the most beloved guests in the history of the Chris Hand Show. Monica Page is back on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What's up, Monica?
Chris, it's great to be back with you. I can't say it's great to be back at work, but it's great to be back with you specifically.
We have missed you greatly.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening that I have not been paying attention to be quite honest with you. It's just been me and our baby.
That's the best. How is the baby?
He is fantastic. He was born April 14th. Big boy, 8 pounds, 4 ounces at 1:14 in the morning. Joseph Daniel. He is a big chunk and he's adorable.
Well, congratulations. We are so happy for you. What's been the biggest surprise as a new mom?
Breastfeeding's hard. Really, really hard. So it was a learning curve in the beginning, and now we got it down. And babies smile a lot sooner and giggle a lot faster than you'd think. So we've been enjoying every second.
It's a blessing. It's like it's one of the only times usually in life that you get to assist God in a miracle. I'm so happy for you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Let's get to business. Let's talk about how different does the White House look now from when you left in April?
I mean, I'm a little jealous because I didn't get to see the UFC claw, so I'm a little upset that I completely missed that. So the UFC claw came and went, and now we're getting a helipad on the south lawn, and now there's like a big drape in front of the north lawn here on the front end of the White House, the north portico, because they're redoing the columns to make them more Roman architecture. Like the president loves that kind of stuff. So there's been a lot of construction happening still, but the helipad was kind of unveiled this past week, and it looks pretty good so far.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But what's the latest on the ballroom? I know that it's kind of like held up in the courts. Is there just a big hole in the side of the White House currently?
I don't know what it looks like. They've got that covered up. They've got that completely concealed. They have huge, like, white walls covering it. When you go to the south lawn and try to look over to your left, where that part usually is on the east wing, it's completely walled off. So we can't really see any sort of progress. I'm sure that's the White House is doing, given that there's been a lot of criticism online and a lot of construction photos that the president's ruining the White House and tearing it down. But it's still very much under construction. They really want to make this as safe as possible, especially, when it comes to drone safety and military safety. And it's going to be like 6 floors deep into the ground, which is kind of crazy. That's one of the biggest surprises that I think I've experienced here at the White House, is learning that White House goes several stories down deep, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hillary Clinton said that he's trying to make it look like one of Saddam Hussein's palaces. Can you confirm or deny?
Completely deny. That's ridiculous. And honestly, the president's doing this not just for him, but for future presidents to come. So I think the future president should say thank you to President Trump.
He made the point. It's like, listen, when this is all said and done, I'm going to have, 4 or 5 months of enjoying it. It's for whoever comes next. And there probably will be a Democrat president down the line as well that will get to enjoy this. I hope not, but there probably will be.
Yeah, and even with the helipad on the south lawn, they specifically make that so, the first lady or whoever is part of the female staffer doesn't have her heels sinking into the grass, similar to the Rose Garden paving it over. So people can actually enjoy, wearing whatever they want and not have to worry about stepping in the mud or the wet grass or getting their clothes ruined or whatever it may be. So these are really great additions to the White House that I think everyone could benefit from in the future.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. He's a total fascist for doing it, and he can't keep getting away with it.
Correct.
Have you noticed any improvements inside the White House since you left for your maternity leave?
Well, unfortunately, the briefing room is still as small as ever, so it's kind of difficult to be in there. I remember being 9 months pregnant, standing along the sides of the wall, like, when are we going to get pregnant women a seat in this space? Because there are a lot of reporters who, believe it or not, that are actually, maybe trying to get pregnant or are pregnant, and, it would be very helpful to have a seat for them to sit in their late term, especially here at the White House, because there's a lot of moving around here.
Yeah,
it's not like
Costco has some front parking spaces for expectant mothers. The White House press briefing room should as well.
Right. I mean, for a White House that says and prides itself that it's a very pro-family administration, we could see a seat for pregnant women in there. That'd be great.
That would be amazing. We're talking with Monica Page. She's with Turning Point USA Frontline. She's one of the best White House reporters in the game. One of the things that I've been really eager to ask you is the story about President Trump and sneaking out of Air Force One because of the threat. Because a lot of the press was very upset that they weren't told about the threat that he was facing and that they were essentially left on the plane. When you're a member of the press and you're going on Air Force One, how much are you aware of the threat that there is?
There's a constant threat. If you're at the White House at any time, whether it's this administration specifically because it is President Trump and he has so many targets on him, or even in the previous administration when I covered Joe Biden and October 7th broke out, of course, you had protesters outside the White House that were calling death to us journalists too. And then we have to come in and out of the White House. And I remember one time we actually had to be barricaded in the White House. There were protesters that were covering the entrances. We could not leave at one point covering the previous administration because there were so many protesters. It was getting kind of violent. So we were barricaded in and I kind of left because I had a doctor's appointment. So I tried to push myself through these protesters out. And this is a threat constantly that this president faces, that the White House faces. There are always going to be crazy people that really don't like what the current administration is doing. And unfortunately, you have a target on your back too, because maybe they don't like the way that you are reporting on the news. And, you know, with the heated rhetoric nowadays, of course, the complete bias between both the left and the right and the temperature of today's current events, people don't like the mainstream media. People don't like the media in general. So to be part of that here at the White House, you're really risking at least a little portion, a small percentage at least, every single day in coming here to the White House. My husband was actually on the decoy plane home, and he had no idea that this was happening. But he can confirm that he was on that flight because he was in Ankara, Turkey for NATO. I had no idea that this was happening until like he landed, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that you're safe. But this is the risk that you take every day when you travel. When I travel with War Secretary Pete Hegseth, I feel a little bit like, something could happen on this flight. Because obviously this is this administration and foreign adversaries don't like us. But this is a risk that we take every single day, and people don't realize just how dangerous it is, so-called, because there are jobs far more dangerous than the ones we do. But it could be pretty sketchy from time to time.
You seem to be approaching it with a level head, which is kind of like how I thought you would approach it. Do you think that the members of the leftist media just never really put themselves in that mind space, or were they playing it up for the media cycle?
I think that they know the risk that they take when they travel with the president. I think it's disingenuous to kind of play it up the way that they have been. And it's not like it's unfair. I mean, the president is the most targeted man on the face of the earth right now. And I mean, I don't blame him for taking, this decoy flight or being shuttled off into a truck somewhere else. I don't blame him. I think it's the right thing to do. It's the right move. And when you travel anywhere, Turkey borders Syria, Iran in the Middle East. So, Armenia as well. So you're going to put yourself in a very significant risk when you travel overseas, especially. The playing it up and putting reporters' lives at risk, that's so... How many times has a former president traveled and had a significant risk and reporters didn't know, and it just wasn't reported on, like under Joe Biden or under previous presidents, President Obama, with all the bombs that he, greenlit in his term. There could have been significant threats under those administrations, and we probably would have never heard from it. But of course, because it's the Trump administration, we're never going to hear the end of it.
So it kind of like makes me wonder if your mindset has changed, and let me know if it's too personal, but I do think this is fascinating. You mentioned your husband, Daniel, was going to NATO in Turkey. Does it change the calculations for you two guys as parents, given the nature of your job, now that you're parents? Like, is it, okay, you'll take this trip, I'll take the next one? Or is it kind of one of those things where if you're both on assignment, you're both on assignment?
If we're both on an assignment, that's what it is. Usually I like to do my assignments with the War Secretary, Pete Hegseth, because they're day trips. They're within the country. I don't have to leave the country. I'll get my mom to come help with the baby. But it does like spike my level of anxiety. That is for sure. I mean, with him traveling overseas, especially, my anxiety was kind of already heightened. I was kind of a little wary about it already. And then with this on top of that, it kind of shook me up a little bit, I will say. But, I'm just happy that WhatsApp exists and he was able to communicate with me. And the planes are usually flanked by military jets as well. So it gives you a little bit of peace of mind here and there. But
Right.
but still, there's no like 100%, yeah, he's going to be totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of today's political crap storm, right?
Yeah, even traveling here, even within DC and getting on the metro and traveling, like you just never know what's going to happen. How many times have they had to shut down the north lawn of the White House outside because there's somebody with a suspicious package throwing it over the fence, or somebody, so these are just every day. You just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's chaotic. Well, we're constantly keeping you guys in our prayers, and I know the audience will as well. What stories are you paying attention to at the White House today? What is on your radar?
So the president is actually traveling to South Carolina today to shore up support for interim Senator Darlene Graham. She's facing that Republican primary runoff in South Carolina. So the president's heading over there today to kind of host a sort of like a rally style remarks, an event over there. So trying to get people to come out and support for Darlene Graham. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with the results of that election. I can't say I've been following South Carolina politics too closely, specifically because I don't know. People don't really seem to know who Darlene Graham really is, or are not really tuned into what's happening over there. But the president's heading over there, and then coming back to do the Grand Prix on Sunday here at the White House.
So the South Carolina race is weird. Darlene Graham has had some flubs, right? Where she's like, well, I don't really know much about foreign policy. I'm not an expert. But then her opponent has had his own flubs where he's like, I think we should have a pathway to citizenship for some illegal aliens. And it's like, okay, both of you sound a little bit out of lockstep with the grassroots. Tell me
it's
tell
a
me
little
about
rough.
tell me about the Grand Prix in DC this weekend. Are the streets completely locked down already? What does it look like? Are you going?
You took the words right out of my mouth. There are multiple streets completely locked down. So getting around DC and even driving around the DMV area is kind of hectic. There's tons of traffic, like 2.5 hour delays just trying to get out of the city or get into the city, depending on the time of day. So for that reason, I will not be attending, but I will like to see clips online, which would be pretty cool. This is the first time I think the DC area has ever done anything like this. So I'm interested to see how they managed to do this race. The president I just think this is like the coolest thing. Like all the amazing events happening here at the White House and just around the DC area for America 250. I mean, it just makes me feel really proud to be American and be here at this point in time as we celebrate 250.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps going. That was going to be my next question. Has it been more like, wow, this is amazing, we love America, or has it been a little bit more annoying as a DC resident?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think this is like a once in a lifetime sort of deal. I mean, the next time something like this happens, I'll probably be like in my 80s or something. So I want to enjoy it as much as I can and really feel the patriotic feelings that I have, especially with the state fair, UFC. I mean, it just seems like it never ends, and the president is really excited about it too, which also helps. He tries to get everybody on board with it. And of course, yesterday we saw First Lady Melania Trump being gifted with a Grand Prix helmet that said "Be Best." So, the IndyCar Corporation, Fox Sports, all those guys, like they are really excited about this as well. So it's not just Americans; it's like these big corporations as well that are getting on board and celebrating.
Yeah, and she made a big announcement yesterday, getting a lot of money for helping kids in foster care. Is that correct?
Yeah, $2 million from like Indiana University, Purdue University, teaming up with IndyCar and Fox Corporation to kind of set these kids up for success as they age out of the foster care system. What was really surprising, I actually spoke to Melania Trump's senior advisor, Mark Beckman, just yesterday, and he said that there's only 2 Democrat leaders that are getting on board with funding and helping push the Fostering the Future, legislation and different kinds of initiatives that this administration is trying to do. There are still plenty of blue state leaders that just specifically won't do it because it's President Trump.
It's insane.
It's ridiculous because you're actually helping kids. What it comes down to is it's children trying to get a head start on their life, try to get a job, trying to get a head start on their careers, and maybe not end up on the streets or involved with the wrong kinds of people and doing the wrong kinds of things. So kudos to this administration for really prioritizing those kids and everyone who's getting on board with that.
Yeah, I mean, and nobody's going to ask the kids their political affiliation before they help them out. Like, it's going to help kids that lean left. It's going to help kids that lean right. And a lot of these foster care kids, they get out of the system, and then they're on their own. And then it's like, all right, we'll figure it out. And the fact this administration's stepping up is huge. But I'm not surprised the Democrats aren't involved or don't want to be involved because, well, 2 reasons. Orange man bad, and they probably thought that those kids should have been aborted.
Right. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Could you imagine? And speaking of that, I've been following that Lindsay Clancy trial. That's been ridiculous too. I don't even want to get into that, but
I mean, the Lindsay Clancy stuff is insane. There are women that are like taking pictures with her defense attorney like he's some celebrity. And then there are other women online that are coming up with complete alternate reality theories. I saw one where this woman was like, well, the husband's birthday is actually a day away from President Trump's birthday, so he obviously did it.
Oh my gosh. And it's so crazy. I'm so glad that we have a reporter on the ground there for Frontlines. Bo, he's out there recording all the craziness that's happening. We're interviewing the women and they just sound so they don't know what they're talking about. And then seeing online the social media posts too, the same Lindsay, like as they feel the same way about having their kids. It's like, you should never have kids.
Yes.
I could never feel that way about my child.
Honestly. And like, I understand postpartum depression is real and it affects a lot of women. And it's like, that's hard. That's tough to get through. It's not an excuse to murder your family.
No,
it's just, it would never be an excuse. What are you looking forward to this weekend? What's happening next week at the White House?
Well, we're keeping a close eye on those runoffs, those elections, of course. Next week, we really don't know what could happen next week. I mean, usually we get the week ahead guidance on Sunday evening to kind of prepare ourselves for the week ahead. We can probably expect a lot of new executive orders, maybe welcoming specific guests to the White House. We saw Luke Bryan here at the White House yesterday, too. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see him, but he was in the press briefing room unannounced. So you never know who's going to be here at the White House, but,
That's pretty cool. Monica, we are so glad to have you back on the radio with us. You're an unbelievable reporter. Where can we find you on social media to keep up with all the happenings?
Thank you so much, Chris. It's great to be back with you guys. I'm on X and Instagram at Monica Page, PAIGE TV. You can check out all the things that I'm doing and my weekend review packages. And then, of course, we have that specific interview with senior advisor to Melania Trump, Mark Beckman. That's on our social media pages as well. So feel free to check it out.
Also, Monica has one of the funniest Instagram stories consistently, just in case anybody's keeping score
Oh,
at home.
no. Yeah, it actually is pretty funny. I love posting on Instagram stories. My husband makes fun of me, but I don't care.
No, keep doing you. You're winning. You're doing the Lord's work. Monica Page, we appreciate you joining us.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too. God bless. That's Monica Page. We're excited to have her back. It's 10:23. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Aaron Parker over at Parker Safes and Vaults. You need a safe. If you don't have one, you 100% need one. Everybody has something in their house that they need to protect, and it's going to look different for everybody. Like, it might be a firearm collection. It might be precious metals. Maybe it's something where the value's not there, but the sentimental value is through the roof. Maybe it's family heirlooms. Maybe it's photo albums. But whatever it is that you wouldn't want to lose in a burglary or a fire, you don't want to protect it in a filing cabinet that could be ravaged by a fire or tipped over and pried open by a teenager. You're not going to find filing cabinets at Parker Safes and Vaults in Shelbyville. This is a veteran-owned, family-run Christian business that have been helping people protect what they treasure for close to 20 years. You make one call to Parker's, and they'll help you choose the right safe for your needs and your budget. They'll deliver it, and they'll install it themselves. These guys are total pros, and they sell serious products. Liberty, American Security, Rhino, Graph Under, and more. They specialize in the right safe for the right customer. Hundreds of 5-star reviews. Get a safe with these guys today. You can go to parkersafes.com or you can call 931-842-6445. That's 931-842-6445. Always open at parkersafes.com.
Well, the FBI has made an arrest in an ISIS-inspired terror plot, and Americans seem to be trading one stress-relieving habit for another. Those stories and more coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It's a heck of a tease, Sam. You're getting better.
It's that better water I've been drinking.
Better water. No LLC.
No LLC.
It's 10. I got a text earlier. Somebody said, "Don't dead name Better Water." I won't. It's just Better Water now. It's 10:28 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water. You can listen all over the place. iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. How good was it to have Monica Page back?
So good.
I miss Monica.
She's the best.
She really is. Like, I don't say this about people if I don't mean it, but she really is like an awesome person.
Refreshing like a sparkling water.
She's great. She's refreshing like Better Water, Sam. You missed an opportunity there.
Who says better water can't be sparkling?
I don't know. The frogs? Maybe it's the frogs.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Speaking of progressive ideas. What?
What a segue.
What? I only do the best segues. I can't help it. There was a Senate debate yesterday between Seth Moulton and Ed Markey out of Massachusetts, and they were trying to just outwoke each other. And when I play you some of these clips, it's going to make you cringe. And I'm only going to play you these clips so that way you can understand how important a lot of these Senate races are. Like, we're going to get another Democrat senator in Massachusetts. But the ideas that these guys have is the ideology of everyone. And it is, at least to me, I feel like my BIPOC community are underrepresented in the state of Massachusetts when we have two old white men competing for who's the wokest and who wants to be senator. But that's the choice they have in front of them. Which white male would you like to choose to signal your virtue? That's the choice that they have in Massachusetts. Wait until you hear some of these clips from the debate. It will make you pull your hair out a little bit, but that's okay. It's a good thing. It's going to be fine. We're going to get through it together. Hang out with us. 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 10:30, and I am Sam Rutherford with your top stories. The FBI has arrested a woman accused of planning an attack on the New York State Capitol building in Albany. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has the details.
Authorities charging Jessica Bowie with providing material support to ISIS and claiming that she asked a confidential informant how to make a bomb that she planned to detonate while state lawmakers were in session. The FBI sent confidential informants posing as Islamic radicals to communicate with Bowie, who is 35, after she allegedly posted concerning comments online and allegedly swore her allegiance to the leader of ISIS.
And that is suicidal empathy by liberal white women on full display. Americans are drinking less alcohol than ever before, but some health experts warn another trend may be emerging in its place. CBS News reports a new Gallup survey shows alcohol consumption has fallen to a record low, with just 54% of U.S. adults reporting they drink alcohol, down from 65% a decade ago. The survey also found a record low 13% say they drink too much, while more than half of Americans now believe even drinking moderately is unhealthy. But some physicians caution that declining alcohol use may not automatically translate into better health. Dr. Joshua Septimus of Houston Methodist says many younger adults appear to be replacing alcohol with high-potency cannabis products, raising concern about potential long-term effects that remain less understood by researchers. Experts note the health risks of alcohol are well documented, while additional research into cannabis could become easier as federal officials move toward reclassifying marijuana. And a recall involving frozen blueberries sold across 8 states has now been elevated to the FDA's highest risk level. Federal health officials have upgraded the recall of several GreenWise organic frozen blueberry and mixed berry products sold at public stores to a Class 1 recall, meaning there is a reasonable probability the products could cause serious health consequences or even death. The recall stems from concerns about possible E. coli contaminations. The affected products were sold at Publix locations in Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia. Consumers are being urged not to eat the berries and instead discard them or return them to Publix for a refund. According to the CDC, an outbreak linked to the recalled berries has been associated with illnesses and hospitalizations, and the investigation remains ongoing. I'm Sam Rutherford with WTN News. We've got your weather coming up next. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
The guaranteed offer is the simplest, least stressful way to sell your home. You go to our website, you fill out a quick form, we set an appointment, we bring you an all-cash offer. Literally, there's no lockbox on the front of your house, there's no showings, we pay all cash, we close in as little as 21 days, stress-free. We've helped thousands of homeowners just like you sell your home the hassle-free way with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate.
"37 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Mason Fleming is back there tickling the algo. Why do you give me a look?
I can give you a look.
There was a look.
It's a resting face.
Did you have your camera on?
No.
Of course you didn't. Whenever he gives me that look, he conveniently doesn't have his camera on, so I can't lean on the vast staff to confirm or deny
all
the
allegations.
side eye that I'm
Untrue.
getting from Mason Fleming.
Allegedly.
You ready for the weekend, bud?
I am very ready for the weekend.
You gonna watch Spider-Man again?
Actually, yeah.
I knew it. I knew it. I might.
My dad wants to go see it. I'm like, I'm not going to turn down a chance to go hang out with my dad and go see Spider-Man.
That's
Why?
based. It's based. You know, I could help you guys watch it in the comfort of your own home.
How's that?
It's a pirate's life for me.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'll have to tell you off the air. I would never do anything like that, by the way.
Yeah, no. Just
Ever.
report on the news.
That's all I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, just, did you know about this? Never mind.
Anyway, moving right along. Seth Moulton versus Ed Markey. You got to say it like that. It's not Ed Markey. He's from Massachusetts.
Ed Markey.
Who the hell is Ed Markey?
Ugh.
Like, if you said that, if you were in Massachusetts and you were like, I don't know about your Senator Edward Markey, they'd be like,
who's that?
Who? And then you'd be like, Edward Markey, and they'd be like, oh. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan.
He's too old. He's too white. We need a younger white guy.
Just slightly.
Because that's how we make sure that the underrepresented are represented.
True.
It really is like bananas to me. Like, all they do as Democrats is they're like, you know, the old white people are the problem. By the way, here's your choice of 2 old white people. Thank you for coming. Oh, okay.
Really making change here.
And it was like the woke Olympics last night. So they had the Senate debate in Massachusetts, the primary, the Massachusetts Democratic primary. But it's, I mean, when you say that, like, it's essentially the general election, right? It's Massachusetts, after all, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So you got 2 guys that are, one of them's going to be the senator. It's Ed Markey or Seth Moulton. And Ed Markey wanted to let everybody know just how woke he is and how he bent the knee and gobbled up every spoonful of BS that the Biden administration heaped on him, and how just unbelievably great he was when it came to Biden's Green New Scam.
Yeah, 7 years ago, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and I, we introduced the Green New Deal. And it was to unleash a clean energy revolution. Wind, solar, all electric vehicles, battery storage technologies. And I was able in 2022, in the climate bill, the energy bill, which President Biden signed, to include the funding for offshore wind off of Massachusetts. That's 5,000 new megawatts of energy that was going to be coming into a state that only uses 13,000 megawatts a day.
I love how the talking points during a Democrat primary debate for the Senate in Massachusetts are wins. But if you had those same talking points in a primary debate in Tennessee, those would be dings. He's like, I'm the guy that brought all the wind here to Massachusetts, and we're killing the whales. And it's great because Joe Biden said we got to have battery-powered cars. If anybody had anything like this on their resume in Tennessee, they may be tarred and feathered. But that's a badge of honor in the state of Massachusetts. They also know another badge of honor in the state of Massachusetts, and that badge of honor is trans kids. And they went down the line talking about protecting trans kids.
We also have to protect trans kids. I'm the author of the Trans Bill of Rights. Congressman Moulton threw those trans kids under the bus after the election of 2024, demonizing them, turning them into political scapegoats.
Demonizing the trans kids. I'm the one that looks out for the trans kids. I protect the trans kids. Seth Moulton throws trans kids under buses. I would define protecting trans kids a different way than Senator Markey out of Massachusetts. You see, I would say, pause, please. Hold on. Take a deep breath. Give me your iPhone. You're homeschooled now. And I think that would probably be one of the best ways to protect trans kids in Massachusetts. Protect them from making a decision that could cause irreparable harm for the rest of their life. his idea of protecting trans kids is essentially sterilizing them and cutting off healthy body parts. We're not the same. Again, when you watch a primary debate in Massachusetts and you were to watch one in Tennessee, it's bizarro world. It really is. It is one of the wildest things that you could ever imagine. And he says, Seth Moulton threw trans kids under the bus. I love trans kids. I think about trans kids all the time. I go to sleep and I'm thinking about trans kids. I wake up and I'm wondering, what can I do to these trans kids? How can I help them? I want to help them.
Help in heavy quotations.
Like, define help, sir. I helped all the trans kids. All the trans kids, they see me, they run up, they give me big hugs. They say, you really helped. Mr. Maki, that's what they call me. They call me Mr. Maki. You really helped me remove my penis, and I'm very grateful for you. And they tell me that all the time. Stunning. Brave. On the question of boys and girls sports, to be fair, this is actually probably the only differentiator between the two candidates. And it's going to really highlight where we are in this country on biological men playing in biological female sports. Will Massachusetts reject Ed Mackey because of his take on boys playing in girls' sports?
Do you think transgender athletes should be allowed to take part in girls' sports? Senator Markey.
Yes, I do. That is the law in Massachusetts, and I think it's the correct law. The United States Supreme Court just ruled 4 weeks ago that across the country that does not have state protections, that those kids lose their protections. So for me, it's absolutely essential.
It's essential, he says. This is an essential thing. Democrat Congressman Seth Moulton, who wants to be the senator, he says that if you protect children from genital mutilation, it's hateful, but he's not exactly sure that boys should be playing in girls' sports, which is pretty radical for a Democrat to say in the year of our Lord, 2026.
Yes or no, Congressman, do you think transgender athletes should be allowed to take part in girls' sports?
I think they should, with a discussion about where we have issues of safety and fairness. And I think that that's something that Democrats should take on, not cede to Republicans. Because I've been proud to vote against all of these hateful Republican legislations. But we've not fought forward. We're not taking this on ourselves.
Whoa, 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 bigot, calm down. Those boys are girls now. Don't you understand? They made the choice when they were 3. It had nothing to do with their psychotic mother. They made the choice. So don't be a bigot. That's still a pretty radical take. And that radical of a take is considered reasonable in the state of Massachusetts. There are still a bunch of dads in Massachusetts that want to protect their daughters from being injured by a man playing against them in sports. And there are cases in Massachusetts where girls playing basketball, girls playing volleyball were injured by boys on the court, on the field. So this is an issue that I think is going to be litigated in this election because it's really their only big differentiator. He thinks that it should be Democrats having the conversation. Ed Mackey, he says, let them play ball and let them remove them. It's a hot take. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. They all want to get rid of ICE, by the way. Every single one of them. Yet, I would remind you that when Governor DeSantis sent the illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard, they had no problem having them removed immediately. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that convenient? When they're not where I can see them, I love them. But if they're messing up my vacation, get them the hell out of here.
And let me be clear, ICE needs to be abolished because the organization is completely corrupt. It's staffed by thugs. And that's why I was the first in this race to say that they need to be prosecuted as well. I think a mistake that we made after the first Trump administration is not doing enough to hold them accountable, to just sort of go back to normal and think that things were going to return to the way they were before. We've got to hold this administration accountable.
Arrest everybody. Arrest them all. How dare they? Unless, stay with me, unless they're at my property in Martha's Vineyard and they're not there to clean, then they got to go. They got to, the Haitians, temporary meant temporary in Springfield, Ohio, not Martha's Vineyard. You understand, right? We can't have them messing up Martha's Vineyard. Nobody wants them on Nantucket, okay? So that would be wrong. That would be hateful. Also, arrest the ICE agents for doing their job. Got it. These people are insane. Absolutely insane. But one thing that they all agree on is that President Trump should be impeached, and impeached quickly. And this is going to be a recurring theme. This is literally what happens if we lose in the midterms, by the way. You're going to have an impeachment circus once again. And if we lose the Senate, well, he's going to be impeached. That's just the reality of the situation. Everybody from Angie Nixon to Seth Moulton wants President Trump to be impeached because, well, obviously, he's running a criminal fascist regime.
And because we won the majority, we were able to impeach Donald Trump. But it did not get confirmed in the Senate because there weren't enough senators fighting to win a majority in the Senate. That's what happened in 2018. That's why we have a second term of Donald Trump in his criminal fascist regime.
Impeach! Impeach the orange man. Get your impeachments here. Impeachments. It's not just Moulton, it's Markey too. Markey.
I say impeach Trump. He's running a criminal enterprise. He's got a cash for criminals program that Republicans support, $1.8 billion.
1-877 cash for criminals. 1-877 cash for criminals. 1-877 cash for criminals.
He's got a cash for criminals program that Republicans support, $1.8 billion.
That was the weaponization fund, which has already been buried. It's deep beneath the soil. It's not coming back. I wish it would. I'm a fan of it. It was $1.776 billion. Todd Blanche, to get confirmed, had to bend the knee on that. But that's just a talking point. That's the low IQ, smooth brain voters of Massachusetts not knowing the reality of politics in today's day. So he can use it as a talking point because he knows that most of them aren't doing their own research. They're just being spoon-fed. They're little baby birds.
He's got a cash for criminals program that Republicans support, $1.8 billion. He's been running an all-you-can-eat corruption buffet for himself, for his family, for his cronies, for his corporations. He must be held accountable. And he's also planning on stealing the election. That's what the Save America Act is all about. It's all about stealing the election this fall.
Right. When you have illegal aliens voting in New Jersey, you have whistleblowers coming out in Michigan, you have states that won't turn over their voter rolls. We want to steal the election. Got it.
So it's absolutely one after another impeachable offense. We need to win the Senate. We need to win the House. And then we just have to ensure that Donald Trump and his family and his cronies are held accountable beginning in January 1st of next year. This man is an absolute criminal sitting in the Oval Office, a walking, talking constitutional crisis. He must be impeached.
Cool. So, I mean, things are good in Massachusetts. If you're keeping score at home, everything's smooth. Business as usual. Not much to report. Nothing crazy to see here. It's like the house is on fire behind you, right? And Chief Wiggum's going, nothing to see here. Move along. This is fine. I don't understand how a state that dumped tea in the harbor and had Paul Revere saying, get your muskets, it's time to remove some craniums of the British, went from that to this in 250 years. How? How did that happen? To be fair with you, I love Massachusetts. I do. I have a lot of family there. I have a lot of friends there. I know a lot of these psychopaths. I don't understand how this happened. It's mind-blowing to me that you went from one of the birthplaces of this country, one of the most based places, the Battle of Lexington, to this in a quarter century. Literally, they went from the British are coming, to, hey, boys should actually be able to dunk on your daughter, bigot. It's like, what? How did that happen? How did that happen? The birthplace of Mickey Ward to this. Yikes. 1053, Super Talk, 99.7, WTN.
Times are tough. Absolutely, I agree. Now, if you need a new truck or a minivan, maybe an SUV, Mid-10 Ford, they can help you out with great selection, terrific pricing as well. Mid-10 Ford, they've been around for 56 years, since 1969, helping people get the vehicle that is right for them. They can help you save $1,000 or more on select Ford trucks. They also offer special financing as well if you need it. Now, Mid-10 Ford, I like to say that they're a one-stop shop. You can buy your vehicle there at Mid-10 Ford. You can get it serviced. They have a body shop as well. So you want a brand new or a pre-owned vehicle, you can check out all of the great deals at their website, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. They offer low-pressure sales, maximum customer service if you show up at their business, 1319 Foster Avenue. This is a family-owned business going back 4 generations. So, yeah, they do know how to treat customers. So let them help you get into your next vehicle. Again, low-pressure sales, maximum customer service. Find them online, mid10fordtrucks.com. That's mid10fordtrucks.com. Let their family take care of your family.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
The investigation continues into what went wrong in a mid-air collision between a small plane and a police helicopter, and a sad ending for the mystery of a Colorado man who went missing in Nashville over the weekend. We'll have those stories at the top of the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. It's 10:58 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water. You can listen on iHeartRadio, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us on Super Talk TV, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. YouTube is the big one. That's where we're trying to get the subs. You know, my family was like, "Hey, we're gonna do theme night dinner." I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "Well, we're gonna theme it after a country." That's exciting. And she said, "Yeah, what do you think we do?" I said, "If I don't get the likes up, we're gonna do North Korea, because we don't have enough likes to be eating like kings out here. What do you think?" So it's up to you. Do we do Italy night or do we do North Korea night at the Hand household this evening?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. It's up to you getting the likes up. I was so upset. So I did the whole Ed Mackey and Seth Moulton debate a minute ago, and I missed the cherry on top. Are you ready for the cherry on top? Are you ready?
Hit me.
Senator Markey, it is clear the Democratic Party is at an inflection point right now. What's one way your party needs to course correct in the next Congress?
Our party has to become more progressive. We have to stand up for what the people are talking about at the grassroots, especially young people. They support Medicare for all. They know the health care system in our country is a sick care system. They want it fixed. They want a Green New Deal.
We got to get more progressive. That's the moderator literally gave her a lane to be like, you guys need to course correct because you're getting a little wacky. I don't know if you've been paying attention to the debate where you're talking about kids wanting to remove balls, play with balls. When girls are there, it's really weird. The whole debate's really weird. And you have an opportunity. She's like, it's getting wacky. Is there anything you'd like to course correct on? He's like, yeah, absolutely. We need to get more leftist. We need to get more progressive. We need to force feed these transgender surgeries to protect these kids. Oh, okay. It's a take. It's 11 o'clock. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
It is 11 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. I'm in for Ken Weaver. Hopefully he will return on Monday. I've got a full forecast coming up for you here for your weekend, so stand by. With the war in Iran dragging on, the Trump administration trying a new tactic. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
President Trump now trying a new strategy, threatening severe consequences for any country that tries to help Iran evade sanctions and help them financially. But notably, the administration is not saying whether China, Iran's top trading partner, will face those severe consequences that President Trump is talking about. We know the White House and President Trump, well, they are now preparing for Chinese President Xi Jinping to visit here at the White House in just a few weeks.
In that deadly collision between a small plane and a police helicopter in Pennsylvania, surveillance video now shows the moment of impact. It's pretty devastating if you've not seen that. Investigators are working to determine what the heck went wrong. ABC's Aaron Katursky reports.
The pilot, Paul Sokolowski, a respected emergency room doctor who became a flight instructor in February, was killed. Investigators said he conducted maintenance on the plane before the fatal flight, but they don't know yet whether that played a role in the crash.
We now turn to back here in Nashville, where a Colorado man who went missing in East Nashville over the weekend has been found dead. That's according to Channel 17 here in town. Metro Nashville police say 31-year-old Connor Anderson was discovered Thursday in a wooded area near a parking lot at 14 James Robertson Parkway. Authorities say there are no immediate signs of foul play. The medical examiner is determining the cause of death. Investigators say Anderson had flown from Colorado to Nashville for a work conference. He was staying at the Millennium Maxwell House Hotel. He was last seen on Sunday near Woodland Street in East Nashville. Detectives reviewed surveillance footage, phone records, and bank records during the search. That is the latest news. We've got weather coming up next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water. You can listen on all the apps, iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube. You can watch us on Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe. We appreciate you doing so. Did you watch the meme I made you? I made you watch. I sent it to the meme chat. I still got some people that I need to add to the meme chat. I'll get there, I promise. If you've requested to be in the meme chat on Instagram, it's invite only. You have to invite yourself. At Chris Hand on Air. Shoot me a message and I'll get you added. But I sent one, and it was what it's like to work in a Temu factory. Did you watch it?
Smile.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
So it's I think this one's fine for air, right?
I think so too.
Some of them are safer than others, but they're still funny.
Especially when you're dealing with cyanide happiness.
Yeah. So this guy, the manager at the Temu factory, it's like a little kid stitching a bear. You know, you got to have the tiny fingers if you want to get the right stitching. So there's a kid stitching up a bear. The manager's like, what the heck is going on here? The bear is not smiling. I need my bear smiling.
It's got a big old frown on its face.
And so the little kid turns around and he goes, what is a smile? And he's got a really sad look on his face. And it zooms out. All the kids working in the Temu factory have sad looks on their face. And then all of a sudden the manager gets a sad look on his face. But then a light bulb appears over his head. And it goes to the next scene, and now he has all the kids hanging upside down to stitch the smiles.
Work smarter, not harder.
Listen, that's investment. Sometimes you have to invest in your people to get the best out of them.
We're just trying to bring the best environment.
You know what I
to get
mean?
the best work.
If you're a company, you're not investing in your people, then you're not going to get the best out of them. Like, that's an investment. Getting the rope to hang those kids upside down, that's an investment in your people.
Oh, that is good.
It was pretty good. Let me know if you want to join the meme chat on Instagram at ChrisHand.air. All right. So we did the Massachusetts Senate race. Let's talk about a more competitive one. At least we were thinking it was going to be more competitive. Abdul El Sayed, the man who overcame $30 million in AIPAC spending to become the Democrat nominee, versus Mike Rogers, the Republican candidate who has the Donald Trump endorsement. AARP just released a poll in Michigan. You ready for the crosstabs? You ready for this? Likely voters, 48-47, +1 for El Sayed. Here's where it gets dicey. You ready? Are you ready for the dice? Women. El Sayed, 53. Rogers, 41. Yes, the man who would prefer that the women be in a burqa or a niqab has a +12 with women in Michigan. Crazy. Men. Rogers, 54. El Sayed, 42. Mike Rogers has a +12 with men. No college. Mike Rogers, 54 to El Sayed, 40, +14. This one's crazy. College. El Sayed, 60 to Mike Rogers, 36, +24. White. Rogers, 51, +5 to El Sayed's 46. Black. I didn't know they were black. El Sayed, 62 to Rogers, 21. That's a +41. Voters 50 plus. Rogers 52. El Sayed 43. +9. Voters 18 to 34. El Sayed 54. Rogers 38. +16. Now we're still like less than 3 months out from the general. It doesn't mean much yet. A lot of these numbers shouldn't surprise you. They break this way quite often when it comes to conservatives versus liberals in these swing states. And it's also important to point out that President Trump did win that state in 2024. And Gretchen Whitmer, the Democrat governor, has given President Trump his flowers on multiple occasions for what he's been able to do for the auto industry since getting back into office. So I wouldn't say that the state is lost, but this is a very, very competitive race. Something to point out, though, is that the Democrats, the Democrat leadership, the Democrat establishment, they're not exactly running to rally behind El Sayed. In fact, Chuck Schumer was asked if he would campaign for the far-left communist radical Abdul El-Rahman Mohammed El Sayed. And Chuck Schumer did a very, very competitive tap dance around the question.
Are you going to campaign with El Sayed in Michigan?
Look, the bottom line is we're going to win Michigan. Let me tell you why we're going to win Michigan. First, El Sayed has brought in new energy and new talent into the Democratic Party, but also in Michigan itself.
That's a great way to not answer the question. We're going to win Michigan. The question was, are you going to campaign with El Sayed? That was the question. Schumer danced around it. All of this power structure in the Democrat Party, they do want to hang on to power. They want to regain power. So they are reading the tea leaves, even though I think guys like Chuck Schumer hate what guys like Abdul El Sayed stand for. But you know what he likes more than he hates? Power. And listen, it'll be his undoing because Schumer will vouch for these guys, essentially. He's not going to go campaign for them, but he'll vouch. And then it'll be these radicals that oust Chuck Schumer. It's just how it's going to work. Chuck Schumer says that the far-left Democrats running for the Senate, they're impressive candidates who fit their states. These are the people who are pushing to have no borders. They want to defund the police. They want to abolish prisons. They want a pathway to citizenship for illegal aliens. They want to abolish ICE. They're stunning and brave, says Chuck Schumer.
We've had relentless recruitment. We have impressive candidates. These candidates fit their states, but we're all united in the issues we're fighting, the cost and chaos and corruption of the Trump administration. And the message might be different in Iowa than in Texas, than in Alaska, in the way each candidate makes it fit the needs of their state, but the overall theme is exactly the same. We built multiple paths to the majority.
Yeah, that's at the end of the day, it's all the same, guys. It looks different in different places, like in Alaska, where the Democrat nominee said, "Please, Kamala Harris, don't endorse me." It looks different. It looks different in different places, but the end goals are always the same: radical leftist policies. That's the reality here. Well, Chuck, Mr. Chucky, what do you make of the rise of the DSA? Because this is going to be the Democrat Party's undoing. This is going to be what unseats Chuck Schumer. And he said what they often say: we're a big tent party.
What your take is, you have a sort of surprising upset in Florida, right, with a candidate who certainly more to the left of, the candidate backed by, folks like you. What do you make of this rise of the DSA and what that could mean for the Senate?
Well, we're a big tent party. And, not everyone has the same exact view on every single issue. But if you look at the overall issues, the costs that people pay, the chaos in the Trump administration, you see it daily.
Oh, yeah. We listen, we have different views, but we have the same goals. We're a big tent party. The rise of the DSA doesn't scare us. But when you actually listen to the DSA candidates, they're like, Chuck Schumer is old and white, and I'm not a fan of Chuck Schumer. Angie Nixon, who's the DSA candidate for the Florida Senate race, she quite literally said that.
Well, what about Chuck Schumer? Should he be the majority leader if Democrats take back the Senate?
I think I would possibly be looking elsewhere when I become the next United States Senator in regards to leadership. And we need to make sure that we have people who are centered on people, who are working for people, right?
Right. So again, hang on to the power at your own peril, Chuck Schumer, because useful idiots, they always get it first when it comes to these commies. And Chuck Schumer's going to be on his way out. I'm not going to shed a tear for Chuck Schumer, but it's fun watching him back these radicals because it's a big tent party and because he wants to hold on to power, knowing what the inevitable result of this is going to be for people in the Democrat Party like Chuck Schumer. He's going to be out. And maybe it won't be this cycle, maybe it'll be next cycle, but his time, it's drawing near. And the writing is on the wall. That was radical Florida Democrat Angie Nixon, Democrat Socialist of America member. She's one of the craziest people that you can find. She's probably not going to win her race. Just if we're keeping score at home. Abdul El Sayed in Michigan, he has a real chance. Angie Nixon doesn't because of the word socialist. It is a dirty word in Florida. She's tried to explain it away multiple times, and she was asked point blank on CNN, with the Democrat socialists, being in your bio, how do you get around that when you have so many survivors of socialism in Florida? How can you embrace that and expect their vote?
There are some critical Hispanic communities, Latino communities in Florida who have had experiences with leaders in Central and South America, Nicaragua, Venezuela, Cuba, who hear the word socialist and think about National Socialists. What would you say to them about your embrace of that label?
So what I would say to them is that I totally understand where they're coming from, and I hear and realize that some of them have experienced some trauma in the past because some folks are still alive, right? But I
Yeah, some folks.
trauma.
So you experience some trauma because some folks are still alive. So I know it's an issue because some of them made it out alive from the socialist nightmare they escaped from. But don't worry, if I get elected, they won't make it out alive. Is that what she's saying?
I'll take care of them.
I'll handle it. Trust me. Trust me. So she had a virtual town hall yesterday, and they had Bernie Sanders was joining the virtual town hall because she is getting the endorsement of Bernie Sanders, which is, you got people lining up to support these people. So she's celebrating the fact that she's got Bernie Sanders' endorsement. And then Jacob Maxwell Frost, who's another radical leftist, goes to intro him on the call. But first, this is Angie Nixon taking a victory lap because she has Bernie's endorsement.
All we do is win, 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 win. Win, 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 win. When we fight, we win, y'all. I am so honored to be on this call with you all. I am so honored that Senator Bernie Sanders has endorsed me today. It is so amazing. He's our special guest. He's coming on a little later.
Two things. She ruined that DJ Khaled song for me. And I don't want to hear it anymore. And I'm going to have to be put through that at the kids' baseball games eventually. It's going to happen. And thank you for ruining that for me. And it's like, okay, moral victory. Bernie Sanders endorsed you. He's hopping on a video town hall. Jacob Maxwell Frost, though, was the cringiest moment as he introduced him.
So without further ado, give it up for Senator Bernie Sanders!
All right, so sorry, that was the most incredible ask we could have done, Congressman Frost, but we are having technical difficulties getting Senator Sanders on with us, but it is coming, it is happening. We are getting on the phone, he's on the road right now.
He's 100 years old, guys. He doesn't know how to join a Zoom call. What are you doing?
What's a Zoom?
They told me to Zoom, and I'm going faster in my car.
They never sent me an address, though.
Where am I going? Who is this?
Where am I?
I loved that. That might have been my favorite piece of show prep the entire evening.
I've never been more nervous for a long, awkward silence in my life.
Dude, how long was that pause?
So without further ado, give it up for Senator Bernie Sanders!
So cringy. So cringe. He's doing his best Michael Buffer, and he can't do it. He's inside his, I don't know what he's in. He's in like his office, I guess, at his apartment, which is, it looks cringe anyway. If you're watching on Super Talk TV, like who designed this, sir? You got, he's just looking cheesy. And then he says, Bernie Sanders! Like it's just going to be this epic intro.
Sanders!
And the awkward smile. The waiting. Oh.
All right, so sorry, that was the most incredible ask we could have done, Congressman Frost, but we are having technical difficulties getting Senator Sanders on with us, but it is coming, it is happening. We are getting on the phone, he's on the road right now.
So, do I have to call collect? I'll use 10-10-3-2-1.
Wait, where's my dial-up?
It's like, will you accept a call from... Hello, this is Bernie Sanders. I endorse Angie Nixon. Click. So good.
Had a baby eats a boy.
Yeah, exactly. We had a baby eats a boy. Some people will get the reference, some won't.
So good.
It's fine. It's fine.
I counted 12 seconds of silence.
12 seconds of silence. So I don't know if you know this, but behind the scenes at a radio station, there's an off-air alarm, right? And it's to let the program director know if there's been technical difficulties and the radio station is off the air. So there is a good chance that the awkward silence as they're trying to intro Bernie Sanders, the fact that we just let it roll, let the off-air alarm hit the program director's phone. Like, he probably got a phone call for that.
Probably got pinged, for sure.
Bernie made it on eventually. Don't worry.
Eventually.
He if there's one thing about Bernie, if he's getting paid, he's showing up.
The reason that we're going to win this thing is the people of Florida, the people of America want real change. They're tired of the status quo. They're tired of establishment politics. They want real change.
How is Bernie Sanders not status quo establishment politics? Bernie had an opportunity to be the fighter that the Democrat Party wanted when they stole the nomination from him and then murdered Seth Rich. And do you know what he chose to do? Get on his knees and gobble. That's Bernie Sanders. It's 11:24. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
A cop loses his job over flock cameras. We'll tell you why. Also, the USS Abraham Lincoln finally heading home. We'll have those stories and more coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Well, obviously that cop's girlfriend shouldn't have broke up with him. Sorry, too soon. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water. You can listen on all the apps, the FM dial. You can watch us on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. You know who came out in support of flock cameras? Did you see this? It's been going viral everywhere. Mason. I'm surprised you don't know.
Who is it?
Darth Vader.
No.
You didn't see that?
That doesn't surprise me. He's on the dark side.
Well,
he's no longer good.
I think Darth Vader got a bad rap. The Rebel scum took out a lot of independent contractors on that Death Star. Just honest guys that were putting in work to get some food on the table for their families.
Trying to make a living.
They had nothing to do with the intergalactic space war that was going on.
They didn't pick a side.
They weren't the ones that pulled the trigger on that planet.
They just picked a job.
You know what I mean? The contract was good. They got a little Ewoks to raise.
It's the same thing with Volkswagen. They're just manufacturing stuff.
Dude, so I do this sometimes. This is how my brain works. You ever get in an elevator and you look at the who made the elevator?
Mm-hmm.
You know who made a lot of the elevators in this country?
Germans.
It's Tyson Krupp. So I'll get on. I'll be like, Nazis made this elevator.
Just out loud to everybody.
Yep. Because it's
got to
true.
make it known.
It's true. It's true. It's fun. It's fun when we're going to the doctor's appointment, right? But we've been going to a lot of doctors lately because my wife is pregnant. We'll be riding in the elevator with a bunch of strangers, and Virginia knows I'm about to say it, and she kind of like squeezes my hand a little bit hard, like don't say it, because we're in the elevator, and there's other pregnant women, there's some elderly folks, going through what they're going through, and here I am, and I just go, Nazis made this elevator, by the way. I'll bring you the comments from Darth Vader on the way. He got a bad rap, okay? You think about how bad the media is today. Think about how bad it's going to be in the future. They painted him in a bad light. It's 11:31 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.31 past 11 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. A weekend weather forecast is coming up. The latest case of tech-enabled stalking comes out of Louisiana, where a law enforcement officer lost his job over the practice. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
More than 3,000 times since flock cameras were installed in Jefferson Parish, Sheriff's Deputy Nathan Rome ran a check on his former fiance's license plate. Sheriff Joe Lapinto says the cameras are a great crime-fighting tool, but
sometimes the technology outpaces the protection tools that exist.
He says he's working with Flock to enhance his ability to red flag misuse of automated license plate readers within his department. In the meantime, he's fired Deputy Nathan Rome. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
That is in the New Orleans area, by the way. The USS Abraham Lincoln now on its way home after a 9-month deployment in the Middle East and concerns about conditions on the ship. ABC's Rachel Scott has that story.
After a 9-month-long deployment, they are finally making their way back home. They were only supposed to be out on that aircraft carrier for about 6 to 7 months, but that mission was extended the longer this war with Iran has continued to drag on. And of course, all of it comes amid new reporting about the worsening conditions on board that aircraft carrier, with the Military Times reporting they spoke to families of service members who said at least 2 people on board tried to jump overboard.
We now head to Texas, where a new trial hearing for a teenager that was convicted of murder. Prosecutors called the deadly stabbing unjustified and plain and simple murder, while the defense poorly argued that Anthony acted in self-defense when he stabbed 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a track meet back in Frisco, Texas, in April of last year. Again, that is Carmelo Anthony we're speaking of. Here's ABC's Dave Packer.
The Texas teenager Carmelo Anthony appeared in court Thursday, this time before a new judge as he pushes for a new trial. A jury rejected his claims of self-defense in June and sentenced him to 35 years in prison for killing Austin Metcalf during a confrontation at a high school track meet. Wednesday, the former judge was removed from the case after Anthony's legal team argued he'd enforced overly strict courtroom rules and gave an interview after the trial was over. Dave Packer, ABC News.
Prosecutors have released evidence that they didn't use at the trial, including harassing text messages that Anthony sent to an ex-girlfriend, including fantasizing about killing someone and licking blood off the knife. That's the latest news. We've got weather on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
Sorry, we were just having a minor
Chris is
debate.
flummoxed that Star Wars doesn't take place in the future.
How does it not take place in the future?
It's in the past. Far away.
Is this why Egyptian hieroglyphics oftentimes feature helicopters?
Now you're catching on.
We'll talk about let's table this discussion for the other side, okay?
Check for the lightning round.
Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Glock Store. Force on Force training is back Saturday, September 19th. There's only 2 classes available, 15 slots per class. At least that's how they started out. They're selling fast, but you're running out of time to get your session booked. Each class is amazing. It begins with a briefing on current Tennessee laws and event parameters, such as a safe word. You're going to need a safe word. This is going to be an intense, realistic live-action scenario. You're going to test your marksmanship skills. You're going to learn how to handle that. But you're also going to learn when. It's not just about how to use your firearm, it's when to use your firearm. I've gone through the Force on Force training myself. I was thrust into a situation where I arrive home late at night, the lights are off inside the private shooting room, and I'm seeing a front door that is ajar. That's all I knew walking into the scenario. I didn't know how many people may or may not be inside my house. I knew that I had to approach the situation safely. I had to keep the people that were with me safe, and I had to handle things. But was I legally justified to do so? That's what Force on Force is all about. You're going to be put into 2 different scenarios with professional performance evaluation after each scenario. The evaluations are going to be based on new Tennessee firearm laws. They started out with 15 slots per session available. There's way less available now. There's a 9:30 and a 2 o'clock class on Saturday, August 19th. Get yours booked today. You don't want to miss this. You will if you wait. Glockstore.com/FOF. That's Glockstore.com/FOF. 39 minutes past the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water. Get your water filtration system at betterwater.com. You can listen to the show on iHeartRadio, tune in the FM dial. You can watch the show on YouTube or Rumble. You can get sent daily offensive memes on Instagram at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. Shoot me a message. Say you want in the meme chat. I'll let you in the meme chat. Most of them we can't talk about on the air.
Most of them.
We talk about some of them.
Let a few through.
The Temu one was good. It was good. I can talk about this meme on the air. It's not even really a meme. It's the first story in the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
I thought it was a meme when I saw it, to be honest with you. I thought I was looking at satire. But the account on X and Wokeness said, it's real. This is not satire. This is coming from our friends across the pond in jolly old England. And it's wild. It's wild. Are you watching on Super Talk TV? If you are, you'll see the meme. If not, I'll read it to you. That way you get the full effect anyway. It's a brochure to help new migrants adjust. It's for the newcomers, which is, it's weird that it's in English anyway, because, you know, migrants, put that aside for a second. This is to help new migrants adjust. This is what the brochure that they're handing out says. And let me know how this makes you feel. It says, in the UK, both people must say yes to sex. This is called consent.
Oh my gosh.
This is literally like a pamphlet they hand out to the newcomers. In the UK, both people must say yes to sex. This is called consent. If you need to say that to somebody, is that the type of person you want being allowed into your country in the first place? Especially given what we know now after the Rupert Lowe rape gang inquiry, where 250,000 of Britain's daughters were raped by Islamic Pakistanis. Is this the best course of action? You know what, folks, chaps, gather round. We'll fix this problem moving forward in a jolly good way. We'll give them a brochure. It goes on. It's not just that. It says, if you have sex with someone who does not want to, this is called rape. Rape is a serious crime. It is still rape if you are married to the person or in a relationship. They agreed once, but they changed their mind. If you have sex without consent, this is the part that gets me, you could go to prison. You could go to prison?
Could? Should.
Could. Will. This will affect your asylum claim. If you have been raped, you can get help, and then it has all the crisis lines. I don't know if that's the worst one, though. Are you ready? Brochure number 2. Child abuse is a serious crime in the UK. Okay. Child abuse is against the law. You must never, and then there's a list of 6 items that you must never do to or with a child. You must never physically hurt a child, shout at or threaten a child. Number 3 sends a bit of a shiver down my spine. You must never have sex or sexual contact with a child under 16. The people that they're letting into their country need this written down. They need it written down. When you allow the third world to enter your country, you're bringing third world problems with it. And your thought process is, you know what'll iron all of this out? A brochure. A brochure. It goes on to say you must never leave a child alone without an adult. You must never deny a child food, clothes, shelter, or care. You must never cut or harm a girl's genitals. Well, who would need to be reminded about that, lad? If you need to write it down, if you need to hand it out in pamphlet form, maybe you shouldn't allow them in the first place. Just a thought. Thought it was a meme. Thought it was a make fun of England meme. Turns out it's just another sad reality of England has fallen.
Unfortunate.
It's crazy to me.
I hate that.
All right, well, get ready. There's more. Get another server in there here in the lightning round. It's from our friends over at the Post Millennial. This guy makes a really good point right at the end of this video. He says it's weird with the WNBA that it's the only sports league in the entire world that whenever you're talking about it, it never has to do with the actual game. And I thought to myself, fact check, true. When's the last time that you talked about the WNBA that had anything to do with the on-court product? It's part of the problem. Well, the Toronto Tempo has a new mascot. And that mascot has some very progressive pronouns.
I'd like for you guys to meet Dez, the snapping turtle, and Dot, the Arctic hare. These are the new mascots for Toronto's WNBA team, the Toronto Tempo.
For starters, a snapping turtle. A little on the nose for the WNBA.
Woof. Oh, sorry, that's a turtle.
You're slow. You may melt down. It's a little misogynistic. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that.
Anyway.
Dez is interesting, though, because Dez uses they, she pronouns, and Dot, who is an Arctic hare, uses she, her pronouns, just regular, she's a girl. And these are the two new mascots for the WNBA. The only sports league where it seems like the only time you talk about them, you never actually talk about anything sports related. Check out this story.
So, yeah, they got a they mascot. I didn't know Toronto had a WNBA team.
I didn't either.
It's an education process. The Toronto Tempo has a turtle mascot with they pronouns. Just another reason to stay out of Canada, I guess. Get another server here in the lightning round. It's good lighting. Quick today.
Come on, it's Friday.
I got to give you your flowers or flowers are due.
Thank you.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are leaving. Come on, guys. Hold it together. I know this is sad. I know everybody's bummed.
I thought you were going to say hold the applause.
No, this is like we're losing our royalty. We're losing them.
Are you saying the No Kings protest worked?
Maybe.
Maybe.
For the former royals, it's another transatlantic move fraught with possibilities and drama. They bought their home in California more than 6 years ago, a shift in lifestyle toward independence from Buckingham Palace and the family business. Instead, they struck a series of their own business deals. Their $100 million one with Netflix included a documentary about their lives.
$100 million from Netflix, 6 years in the United States, and they're heading back to the UK. I don't think anybody in the UK actually wants them back. I don't think anybody in America actually wanted them here to begin with. So, are we losers for having to deal with them for as long as we did, or are we winners for not having to deal with them anymore? You say tomato, I say tomato. Get another server here in the lightning round. As soon as I give you flowers.
Listen, I can't let you get comfortable.
As soon as I say one nice thing. I say one nice thing, and then it's delayed again.
That's what I'm here for. Here to keep Chris Hand uncomfortable.
I don't believe Star Wars happened in the past.
You're just wrong. It's okay.
They were telling the story even further in the future about something that happened in the future, but it was their past.
No, it's our past.
No.
Yeah.
It's their past because they're telling the story from even further in the future.
Who is?
George.
Yeah, he found the hieroglyphics. How do you think the pyramids were built, Chris?
Slave labor?
The Force? Alien ships?
So we have to do a pyramids episode one day.
I'm so here for that.
They're
Are we only covering the ones in Egypt, or are we covering?
No, we're going full Antarctica pyramids.
Ooh, yeah.
Nazi UFOs, obviously. So, if you're keeping score at home, Star Wars happened in the future.
Past.
And then they told the story further into the future about something that happened in their past, our future.
No, we're just recounting history through George Lucas.
Really upset with you.
It's okay.
First,
what about flock cameras?
First the lightning, now this.
No!
Darth Vader has officially come out in support of flock cameras. And now you're going to get us kicked off the stream, aren't you?
I took it out of program 3.
All right.
The Emperor is a fan of flock, and we must continue utilizing flock technologies so that we can follow and surveil the rebel scum as they move from playground to playground, from playground to pool, from pool to gymnasium, because we all know that the flock cameras are not only following the license plate readers, they are following children. They are following children in parks and gymnasiums, and we need this. I need this so I can stalk my ex-girlfriend.
I didn't know Darth had an ex.
Well, not an ex, I guess.
Was that episode 3?
Are they exes if he killed her?
How does he stalk the dead? Is it because the Jedis do the little holograph weird
Force
stuff?
ghost thing?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Force ghost? Is that what you said?
That's what it's called.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't think this could get
They're ghosts
any
in the
lamer.
Force.
I didn't think it could get any lamer, yet here we are.
Oh, I could go even further.
So this was at a San Diego hearing on flock cameras. Darth showed up to defend them. I think he was like the one voice that was pro-flock in the entire audience.
I think it's to prove a point.
What?
That the dark side, the bad guys, agree with flock.
Oh. Because he totally turned my position on them.
Oh, you know what?
That's what I was like.
Let's hear him
I was like, yeah, spy on them kids.
And how will the people trust this city council when this city council continues to vote for surveillance technology that imprisons them? Miss Campbell, you must work on your Jedi mind tricks. Do it like this. And when you do it, make sure that when you're double speaking them into telling them that police services have become more humanitarian, make sure that you don't emphasize the detail that you put a ban on camping. You put a ban. You made criminalizing homelessness illegal, and that is why there is no such thing as humanitarian policing for the homeless.
I had no idea he was such an advocate for the homeless. Is that episode 2?
I mean, he was homeless. He started out as he was homeless and a slave.
So it's like, this is really, it affects him.
Yeah, it hits home.
Less.
Because we have effectively criminalized homelessness, which is good. Now we can staff, now we can fill our jails with free prison labor, especially like that of the Otay Mason Detention Center, where they are making $1 a day for working for 12 hours.
It's too much, just for the record.
And there have been multiple cases of tuberculosis.
Not enough.
Yes, and this is good. This is what the Emperor needs. This technology will help us find the rebel scum and their hidden base on Hoth. This technology will help us find Luke Skywalker as he traverses the universe in his X-Wing. This technology is a necessary force.
Thank you, Darth. He's right, you know. They took out so many independent contractors. The rebel scum.
It's really working.
I think I'm pro Flock now. I've changed it. It took 2 minutes from Darth. Like, why can't people just explain it like he does? It's 11:54. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's 11:59, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water. Mason Fleming producing, Jay Harper in the newsroom, Chad Benson in the studio.
What is up?
What's on your radar for today?
Today, probably talk a little bit about the debt. Very excited about that. I think we need to start an OnlyFans.
We actually have a horn. We have a celebratory horn for the debt. No, it's better.
Does Mason know it?
Mason, he's been slacking. I gave him one compliment. That's my debt horn.
That's a good horn right there.
So we celebrate. I give Mason one compliment.
Why?
Because his lightning was on point.
Oh.
And then immediately after that, everything falls off the rails.
I can't let him get comfortable.
His hair looks like it got hit by lightning.
He's been doing the shimmy shuffle.
Has he?
The shimmy
I
fluff.
thought he was doing something different. Whatever happened to the cornrow?
He said he was quitting, and then he stuck around.
Oh, that's right.
You called a fake out.
Yeah.
He's
like herpes. Just keeps coming back.
What else are you talking about today?
We'll talk a little bit about that. Some more on the flock cameras kerfuffle. That was hilarious. Did Darth Vader last night? That was so funny.
He totally changed my mind. I'm in on flock now.
Darth Vader, that guy.
Okay. Did Star Wars take place in the future or the past?
You know what? If you watch Family Guy, it always says somehow in the future, but also in the past.
Knowing
like,
Chris,
yeah.
he trusts Family Guy more than he does the source material.
You know what? I got to be honest with you. Watch it. It's pretty close to the source material, except with jokes.
Dan had never watched Family Guy, and I was like, you should at least watch the Star Wars parodies.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're pretty spot on.
They're pretty good.
Yeah, so.
Chad's in next. Have a great weekend. It's 12:01 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.